during the Big Ten, there's certain stretches where you're on the road for more than a game, and we're coming off, two road games with quick turnaround. And, I think myself and our staff, we've got to constantly, we got to do a better job of putting our players in a position to be successful offensively. I think you're not going to win a lot of games in the Big Ten scoring 50 or 52 points. I think it shows, and similar to what Coach Gard mentioned too. We played two teams coming off of games that they didn't play their best, and I think you have to get ready. And again, I think we spent a lot of time. I think our kids are in the gym. I think our kids wanna put themselves in positions to be successful and have we've got to make sure they also have the confidence piece, and I think we saw it on Thursday. We didn't do the best job rebounding wise. I thought we responded and rebounded the ball well yesterday and made the big run when we changed the rebounding margin in the second quarter. But I thought Michigan State did a great job coming out of the locker room just with their energy, and it's a challenge to be able to match that. And we were able to kind of weather the storm for a little while, and then. I think basketball is such a game of runs, and especially when you get a momentum play to end a quarter, when you're playing at home, obviously that gets the crowd back into it. But, as a staff, it kills me for our kids because, they want to be able to take our team to where it has not gone before in the Big Ten. And right now, offensively and seeing the competitiveness of the league and not just the two teams that we have coming up just because we have two home games. It is amazing to see. It's great for our league, but it makes every game preparation that much more intense, and you want to make sure that the kids still have that balance of the things that they can control and do better on our end no matter who we're playing against.
Questions? Dennis?
You mentioned teams coming off of games they might not like. You got an opponent, maybe both of you are in that situation coming up. What do you see in Michigan? They've had some good wins and they've had some really bad losses. What challenges do they present?
Yeah, I think they're very deep. I think when over the last 2 years when you've lost 2,000-point scorers, last year they lost Haley Thome, but I think their identity is around their sophomores, and then they've had a senior really step up, Kayla Robbins, who had always provided them great, I think energy off the bench. She's their second leading scorer now, but Naz Hillman and Amy Dilk, were players who played a lot as freshmen. Obviously, Naz was the freshman of the year last year, and also an first team all conference as a freshman player. But I think that they've got great length. I think they played against a buzzsaw yesterday, and a Maryland team that had lost on the road to Iowa, really turned the pressure up, created a lot of baskets off their turnovers. I think maybe more shocking, I think Michigan was playing so well at home, I think was the more shocking result as we watched that game. But, Kim does a great job. The kids get better each year, and I think you see that in the difference in just the command Amy Dilk has of the team. You see Kayla Robbins stepping into that role as a senior, which you'd hope that they would be able to do. And again, I think, trying to make sure that we're not just trying, we've got to be better, and we can't get concerned if somebody lost by 2 or by 30 in the last game. We've got to prepare for what they do well, and I think they use their length really, really well. They spread the ball around. They have kids that are pretty versatile. Hallie Brown is somebody who's, is a post player by nature, but is shooting the three really, really well. And they do a good job of making you play uncomfortable. So, I think one thing, Kim is fiery. Kim, I'm sure, knew that wasn't their best performance, and kind of like everybody in the league played yesterday. So, as you're getting ready for that Thursday game, a lot of people have today off, to be able to get ready and see what they can do better with their team as well as get ready for the next opponent. So they're good, and they've played, I think right now the speaks to the strength of the league that 5 games in, nobody's undefeated and everybody has a win. And, and so it's that much more important. You protect your home court. And especially, I think it gears a team up when they haven't done that for their next game. So, they've played Maryland twice. Obviously, they played a big rivalry game, and the Michigan State-Michigan game was a 4-point game going in the fourth quarter, and Michigan stretched it out. We've seen that in the crossover as we got ready for Michigan State on Sunday.
Did Michigan State do something against Imani that you hadn't seen or that she wasn't ready for? Or was that her to get one shot in the second half after having a pretty good first half?
Yeah, I mean, she's almost at a double-double at halftime and, got to the line 4 times. And, as we watched the film, I thought they did a better job of leaving perimeter players and trying to crowd the lane. She got to the rim a couple times on some good strong drives in the first half, and there were just more people in her path. And again, I think that also comes back on the coaching staff. You can sit there and say she only got one shot, putting her in positions that it isn't going to be as crowded. And I think that's something with our spacing we've got to do a better job. She didn't get to the free throw line in the second half. She still had 4 rebounds, but didn't have any offensive rebounds where she could then, have an opportunity to score off of those. They were all, shots that were further out, or we reset the offense. So, I think there's good learning points you can see on the movement that she had as well, to put herself in that better position. How we can post feed, we'll watch those, and how we can make sure she gets more touches in areas where she can be successful. But again, I think we know what she's capable of, and we've got to make sure that she has more opportunities. I think she got a little frustrated, and obviously the turnover total showed that for what she had in the second half.
Three-point shooting didn't figure to be one of your strengths this year just coming in, but your opponents, I think, have twice as many as you in Big Ten play. How do you compensate for that or deal with that as you approach games?
Well, I think how you look at the type of threes that you get, I think getting to the free throw line is even more important then, because you've got to, understanding how we play through the 2 post players and what type of threes you're getting are really important as well. I think the quality of them. Are you getting them from action where somebody's helping you, whether it's screening action, penetration, inside out, you're getting good movement as opposed to just a pass to the wing and you're shooting a 3. And with the change in the lineup, that takes, our biggest threat and brings her off the bench, and Suzanne Gilreath. We're trying to run certain actions to make sure, obviously, we play to her strength when she's in. I think Sydney Hilliard's got to be a more willing 3-point attempt taker, because I think everybody is trying to stop her from getting in the lane and getting to the free throw line. And, when you're a guard shooting 57% from the field, coming into Big Ten play, and where are those shots coming from? I do think it's important that will help set up her drive, that helps set up Naya's drive. I don't think we ever thought, like you mentioned, we would have to rely on it, but there's got to be a balance to take some of the pressure away from the post players.
Brian?
How many people are you expecting from Monroe on Sunday, and are they bringing up any, Braunschweiger from Baumgartners or anything like that?
We're just going to relocate cheese days here and have it here on Sunday as opposed to in Monroe in the summertime. So, it's obviously great to be able to have these different community days to celebrate, the kids on our team and to have, both Sydney's be represented, and obviously Sydney's dad being the head coach at Monroe, and just seeing how they support girls basketball, as I've made several trips to Monroe over the last 4 years, to have that opportunity. I think when you have Monroe people in the stands, they look and they see 2 of their own, and that's a really kids look up to them, and it's just again, the Beaver Dam Day that we had for Penn State was a lot of fun, not just for Kara and Tara, but for everybody that's grown up watching them play. Even though Kara only played there, 1 season, she's one of their own, and I think that's something that makes Wisconsin really special.
George?
Coach, how important is it that as you guys want to refine your footing, that you do get 2 home games coming up?
Yeah, I mean, it just no matter what, you're going to be a more confident team playing in your own building, and I think you see it on the men's and the women's side, and having coached under Fran McCaffrey, I thought he made a really good point that teams are going to make more shots at home, and that's why it's so difficult to I think to win on the road. And we obviously have great support, bringing the crowd into our games, and I think our kids feed off of that. So, when you have 2 in a row, you're going to play 9-9, and just however the schedule works out with that. And, in our league, you're going to play somebody that's pretty good. So, but I just think that routine, obviously, as great as Purdue men played the other day, we were on the other side of that because we were going to Michigan State and we were getting updated that their men's team bust from East Lansing on Saturday, 6 hours because they couldn't get out of East Lansing because of the ice storm. It does change. It does change, and again, that's part of just changes and things that happen in the game. You've got to be able to learn from it, and I like Greg's phrase of learn it, burn it, and turn it, and we've just got to be able to take advantage of that, of getting 2 great practices in the arena, and be ready to go, for obviously a very fired up Michigan team on Thursday.